But until I think of one as clever as that, I'll just go with my random openings. Anyway, today we are watching STX Sayle versus Kespa Team 8. And opening match is going to be a TVT, BoguS versus Baby on Ground Zero. So, damn, I should have opened the rankings before the match today. Actually, let me go and look at the rankings that were in like the TL news posts, because at least those won't be super duper spoiled. Okay, so at the end of round 2, I guess that doesn't include Sunday's matches. Teammate and STX are like 6th and 7th. I can't remember if that's changed. Oh man, I'm so unprepared today. I'm sorry, guys. I was playing poker with some colleagues from work, and this guy just keeps making this most retarded plays and yet getting the sickest hands. All right. So anyway, we're gonna have BoguS here in the top right. He's gonna be yellow. Baby's gonna be red in the bottom left, and it's cross-map TVT. So you know it's unlikely anything crazy is gonna happen in the first 28 minutes. So let me just talk about this game, or let me just talk about like one hand, okay? So we play with 2,000 in chips. Like that's what you get when you buy in. Obviously, we're not actually playing with $2,000 or anything, but like you pay £5 and you get 2,000 in chips, right? So that's just giving you an idea of how much each person has. So there's like it's like 10 minutes into the game. So there's like no big chip changes, and then maybe it might have been a bit more, but then this guy who does always play crazy, man, but you know, the extent of this is just ridiculous. So the guy to his left puts in 360 pre-flop out of 2K in your start. Alright, he puts in 360, which is a lot, right? And I'm holding ace-queen. So I'm like, okay, I'm calling this. So I call it, and then that guy calls it. So it's 3 of us. So the flop comes down. It's like random cards, right? It's like 5, 6, and 9 on the flop. So it's like completely misses everybody. You would assume it would completely miss everybody. Because, you know, we all went like a huge pre-flop. We all called a huge pre-flop pre-flop bet. Damn. Anyway, it looks like we're gonna have a proxy racks from Baby here. Right? Where's he actually put that? That's not... Oh, or is that just a scout? Okay, so Baby's already scouting. Quite a bit earlier than BoguS is. Looks like they both actually built barracks in their base. I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy ranting about poker. But anyway, back to this hand, right? So I'm pretty sure... So I'm thinking like, okay, we all gotta have good cards, or maybe somebody had like a pair of jacks or something. I don't know. You know, we all called a big pre-flop bet. Oh no, that was just a really early scout. Okay. And so, and then like the next card comes down, and it's another random card. It's like a 10. So on the table you have like 5, 6, and 9 and 10, or something like that. And this guy, he bets like frigging another 300 or something. And so the guy to his left, he's like, okay, I'm out of this. And I'm thinking, like, these are random-ass cards on the table, unless he got, like, a high pair. Or something. Like, I got him beat. So I basically called it down to the end. Oh, looks like, whoa, that's interesting. We have a hidden expansion here at the 9 o'clock. That's unusual. Followed by Wallen. That's actually quite interesting from Baby, so that's why he sent out... Oh, that actually is why he sent out the early SEV. See, he scouted vertically to the top left, and then once he saw BoguS wasn't there, he immediately took the 9 o'clock base as a hidden base, and that is so smart. Because obviously if BoguS was in the top left, he wouldn't want to do that. But in this case, BoguS being cross-map, that is actually going to really help out. I mean, BoguS is going to have no idea about this. He's going to see a wall at the front. It's not really going to indicate too much to him. It might be something like... I mean, he might think there's something sneaky going on, like a drop play or something, since you don't often wall off in TBT. And it looks like we're gonna have a starport from BoguS, plus an expansion. The observer just now was pointing out that the command center usually is placed where that factory actually is. So the SCV, I think, when it gets to the top of the ramp, it might catch the edge of the command center, which is actually quite crucial. Like, that's why the SCV was hugging the left side of the barracks so closely to try and see if there's a command center there. Anyway, I think my poker story is taking way too long. Basically, alright, this guy was holding fucking 5-6 suited, and so he hit a 2-pair on the flop. But he went 5-6, man! Like, that guy, he called like 20% of his stack with 5-6 suited, pre-flop. Like, who in the fuck does that? Oh my god, I lost ace-queen against 5-6? Ugh! Okay. So we have a 2-factory follow-up from Baby. He's getting an armory. It's gonna be some drop play coming out from BoguS. Now this is gonna be pretty interesting because presumably the dropship will go in from the south side, and so it won't actually fly over the expansion. However, actually no, never mind. It's going to be a vulture drop, right? So the vulture drop will go straight to the main. It'll go along the south side and kind of drop in that bottom right part of the main that Baby has no vision of. However, the natural on this map is cliffable. You can drop a couple of sea tanks up there, as Flash demonstrated quite aptly against Stork. And if BoguS actually sends his dropship to go and cliff drop Baby, he'll actually probably fly straight over that expansion. And obviously they'll scout it that way. However, this barracks, though, is going to fly in here and it's not going to see anything. And so BoguS might be a little bit concerned about this because, you know, he's not seeing an expansion and he's like, wait a minute, you know, I've already got my expansion. So he's got to be doing something crazy. Yeah. Let's actually see what BoguS does here. So he's gonna see nothing. I mean, but the thing is, this is a little bit too late for some kind of like 2-fact all-in or something. Like 2 tanks go out now, right? And see, look, BoguS is scared. Like he's looking for a drop. He's like, is it a drop? Is it, you know, I don't know, mass fire bats or something? Like, it doesn't really make sense to BoguS right now. In fact, I wonder if he might actually suspect that it is, in fact, a hidden expansion at this point. Yes, he's going to cancel his bunker, because he got a decent count of the army with his barracks. And if I was him, I'd be quite confused at this point. He is in fact going to go scout out. Look at that, he's actually checking all the bottom expansions. Look, he's actually scouting for hidden expos. And oh, it's actually going to be so crucial. If that barracks actually gets up there, oh, it might actually see some SCVs here. If he can click the minerals at least, he'll be able to know that that there's an expansion there. Oh, this is going to be so close, and it looks like, yes, it is going to scout it for sure. Okay, so BoguS is now aware of what's going on. And, well, he's got really no way to punish it. He's gone for 1 fact, 1 port, so he doesn't have a huge ground army. He's got a couple of wraiths, but Baby's already got his armory up, so he can get some Goliaths. He'll be fine. And I don't actually know if BoguS got Cloak. Looks like he did, in fact, get Cloak. But comsets are already down for Baby, so that's fine. And this is... I don't actually know... Huh. Like, how much of an economic lead is Baby at right now? He's actually got a huge supply lead, 68 against 52. Because he got the barracks... Or, sorry, he got the command... It was basically like a 1-racks expand to his 3rd, right? But you have to take into account he also pulled like a really early SCV to go scout the top left. So he did lose a bit of mining there. But, I mean, all in all, I think, yeah, definitely nice slight build order advantage for Baby. Very curious strategy. Anyway, looks like BoguS just gonna siege up outside his natural a little bit. He can go and take that 1230-ish base if he wants. He's gonna have to do something because he's like 25 supply behind already. Like, he has to do something. His Wraith did almost no damage. Baby's now going to take his natural. I mean, he's going to move out here with a couple of siege tanks, but I don't. Is he making command center his base? Like, what is he doing? He's got to do something out of the ordinary. If he just plays straight up and just adds on factories and tanks and whatnot, he's just playing from behind. And both these players are pretty good in TVT. So it's not like BoguS can just play a long game and assume that Baby's gonna screw up something. Like, Baby's just gonna pull further ahead if he doesn't do anything. Baby being active with these vultures, wraiths, not even getting a single shot off there. Looks like BoguS now going up to 5 factories. And well, Baby now taking his expansion here. I mean, I don't know. Because BoguS should be able to tell how quick that hidden expansion was. Just wait, if you click the minerals, you can see how much the SCVs have mined from them already. So that gives you a rough idea of when the expansion was created. Looks like SCV doing a little trying to do some repairing on that barracks. Barracks is gonna have none of it, man. Dude, oh man, that looks in the spirit of Valentine's Day, that looks to me so much like the SCV is like some poor guy chasing a pretty lady and she's just like stringing him along. That poor SCV. Anyway, looks like we have a Valkyrie follow-up from Baby. We're actually seeing Valkyries quite a bit in TVT recently, actually. I think like the last 2 or 3... Oh my god, what are you doing? Wow, that was not a good attack from BoguS. Oh man, and that was a slow reaction time. He like flew all the way in before pulling it back. Nice spider mine at the 3 o'clock from Baby blocking that command center, but obviously BoguS can just plant that off place and lift it and relocate. But yeah, I feel like in the last 3 or 4 TVTs I've watched in Pro League, they've all involved Valkyries, which is interesting. Of course, Valkyries are actually quite good against wraiths. I mean, once you get a decent number of both Valkyries and wraiths. And looks like BoguS is heading southward. I think there were a few spider mines planted there. Yep, so Baby is aware of what's going on here. It looks like he's got a lot more vultures actually, but I'm not sure about his tank count. He is down 1 factory now, compared to BoguS, but I think he still has... Oh no, it looks like, wait, what? Oh, he actually sent a bunch of units down to the bottom right. That's very interesting, and nope, not gonna be able to take that. But he's taking a very early position here at the bottom right. Wow, this actually, by the way, this is actually really cool. Baby is basically focusing completely on like the late game. Right now, this looks a little bit weird to already be taking this position, but actually, Day9 actually made a podcast about this, guys. Day9 made a podcast about it. Oh man, damn, which one was it? I think it's the one about like how to improve or something like. I don't remember the exact podcast name. Oh, I can't believe I don't remember it. Wow, that's so sad. But he talks about like having a long-term game plan, like on Destination in TVT, for example. The left and right middle expansions are actually quite crucial when it gets to the long game. So a lot of strategies will involve taking those really, really early, even if you don't actually mine from it yet. And this is kind of like the same principle. You see, just sending a couple of units over there, defensively, siege tanks and whatnot are extremely, extremely strong. So you don't actually need to commit a lot of forces down there. So he's just sending a couple of forces, and he's going to hold on to that base for the late game. Meanwhile, it looks like we got drops going in from both players here. 2 vultures and a tank from BoguS against the 4 vulture drop of Baby. Looks like a bunch of vultures coming in here to clean this up, though. They need to focus on the siege tank, or the splash damage is going to kill a bunch of SCVs. And, ooh, looks like a single vulture cliff drop here. Not quite as effective as a tank drop. But, oh, looks like a tank not getting too many SCV kills. SCVs, man, way too much HP. Anyway, yeah, that bottom right, really, really cool stuff. And it's really not going to come into play until much later in the game. I mean, it looks like Baby is already taking the expansion, but he's definitely setting up for a long TVT here. And it's so interesting because if you look at the minimap, BoguS has like, established a tank line kind of in the middle, slightly pushing towards the left side of the map. So that bottom right expansion, you know, he assumes it's going to be his. Like, the way he's dividing the map vertically, that bottom right should be his, but it's not. You know, like, Baby's got it. And, oh, it looks like some more Vulture Harass in the top right, or in that third base. I mean, you guys can see for yourselves. I'm going to keep talking about interesting long-term strategies. A Wraith switch by BoguS. That's curious. Baby was already going Valkyries. I don't know if he continued to produce Valkyries, because if he did, then I can't imagine mass Wraiths being all too effective. But anyway, I actually see this bottom right thing actually reminds me of a game on Sniper Ridge several weeks ago. I can't remember who was playing, but it was a very interesting TVT where like one of the players actually claimed the main, like they split the map, and then one guy actually claimed the main that was on his opponent's half of the map, just like with a drop. He actually dropped it, but not as an attack, but like to actually claim the base. Like he dropped a bunch of SCVs there and started building turrets and stuff, and it was quite cool. Man, I can't remember who played, but yeah, cool stuff. Haram is telling me it was Baby versus Light. So, alright. Looks like a bunch of people are saying it was Baby versus Light. Awesome. Guess that's what it was. Now, interestingly, the supply difference is closing a little bit. 181 to 167 now, looks like. BoguS continuing to push down the middle, though, being extremely aggressive with his tanks. I mean, you know, as aggressive as a Terran can be, really. But the supply lead, you know, once you get to the late game, you know, 20 supply difference in the early game obviously is a much bigger deal than 20 supply difference in the late game. When you're both almost maxed, it's really not. You know, 20 supply isn't necessarily going to make the difference here. It's going to be a lot more about positioning and stuff, especially in TVT. Anyway, 6 factories from Baby, 1 starport. It looks like he is massing up some Wraiths, but the 3-port production of BoguS might actually be quite effective. It's interesting that Baby's actually continued Wraith production rather than making some Valkyries. And I mean, those, you know, even though I said those Wraiths might not be effective, it looks like they actually will be. And oh man, a dropship is getting picked off randomly here. What was that even doing? That wasn't even going to drop anywhere. It just like flew randomly through the middle of the map. And actually, BoguS is now splitting the map in his favor. Look at that. He's actually getting both of the inside 12 o'clock expansions there. The 1230 and the 1130 expansions. You know, the 1130 should, in theory, belong to Baby. So even though Baby's done this sneaky strategy of taking the bottom right base, the way the map is split currently, it's actually just going to turn out even for him. Although it looks like he's going to try and push back here a little bit. Might be successful. The one thing to note, though, about that is that actually those bases aren't really equal. The bottom right mains do have more minerals and gas than those inside expansions. At the 12 and the 6, so you know, if it does end up being even bases, it's actually better for Baby to have taken that main. He will get ever so slightly ahead in the resource war. And you know, so far we've seen Baby. I mean, he's expanding quite bravely, but otherwise his army and stuff has been quite passive here. I mean, BoguS has really been the one taking the initiative on the map. You can just see the way the tank lines have been drawn. Looks like 4 Wraiths and 2 Valkyries out for Baby. A lot more air out for BoguS. And this, well, no, there are enough Goliaths to stop that from being too big of a deal. Although once BoguS gets enough Wraiths, he can actually just fly around with that and start you know, pew-pewing tanks down and stuff and harassing bases. Looks like he's just patrolling around a little bit though. Gonna build an engineering bay at the front there, probably just for some spotting. And no, he is actually gonna go for some tanks now. BoguS' own army coming up here, and look at that, a very nice scan from or sorry, Baby's own units coming up. A very nice scan from BoguS actually to see the incoming air force of Baby, and looks like he's actually just going to sack his Valkyries there. Oh man, I think that might have been a miscontrol. I think he might have gotten his control groups mixed up or something. Like, he had the Wraiths and the Valkyries on separate control groups, and he forgot and only moved the Wraiths back. That seems, I mean, it might have been a conscious decision. It seems like a slightly strange one, considering there were like 10 Goliaths underneath there. So, I don't know. He might have just left the Valkyries there to save the Wraiths, but it seems like it's more likely a mistake, in my opinion. Either way, we are setting up for a very long TVT here. The lines have been drawn. And interestingly, I don't think BoguS actually knows about this bottom right at all still. Just has absolutely no idea. I mean, Baby's just like happily building turrets, building units out of that factory. And I am almost 100% sure that BoguS still has absolutely no idea. Anyway, both players are max now. So we might start to see more action. Of course, it is a little bit difficult to attack in a TVT when you know, there's a bunch of turrets up and siege tanks, and Terran is just so good defensively. This might actually just turn into a very passive game until we get some battle cruisers or something. And ooh, BoguS, now he knows about that base. Randomly getting shelled by siege tank when there should not have been any units there. It's like some more jousting in the middle of the map. And BoguS actually is now taking this, or no, sorry, no, I read it wrong. No, Baby's still in the supply lead. Whoops. So this is going to be quite a difficult position for BoguS to actually take now. There's turrets ringing the base, and the siege tanks are covering the ramp. So obviously he can't run up the ramp, that'll be suicide. And if he goes for a drop, it'll be very costly. He'll lose a bunch of dropships to those turrets and stuff. So that's going to be quite annoying for him. And ooh, looks like that base is actually siegeable. Can you actually do that from the bottom right? Wait a minute, is there a positional imbalance here? Can he siege the inside? Like at the bottom right, see, BoguS has taken that expansion as well, and Baby has the main. So can he actually siege that base as well from the inside? Because that'll be super obnoxious. Anyway, it looks like BoguS loading up a huge drop here. And he looks like he's going to go and drop the top left main. There are some Goliaths, a couple of turrets. The Valkyrie might be crucial. If the Valkyrie doesn't get a shot off, I have no idea what that Valkyrie was doing, but it looks like this drop is going to be successful with the Wraiths there for cover. A bunch of Goliaths coming up for Baby, but Baby is losing this position here. At the top left, he's got to be a little bit careful how he engages it. I don't know, does he have any dropship of his own? I don't think... Baby hasn't been going for the mass drops here. I mean, BoguS has pretty much complete air dominance. Looks like Baby just going to go in with the SCVs to tank some shots, and then go in with his own siege tanks. Of course, since all those units were super clumped up for BoguS, Baby does seem to actually clean it up quite easily. I was actually a little bit surprised by that. Anyway, Baby's still in a very nice position in this game. And the dropship's now going to the bottom right. Perhaps they're going to go drop that. There is a ring of turrets around, but not too many turrets. So it is droppable for sure. Is he? No, he's not going to go for the inside base there, is he? Actually, that dropship, they're pretty severely damaged. But it looks like, oh, he's leading with the high HP one. Very nice move there. And looks like there goes the drop. Baby gonna unsiege these tanks and come back. He does have a far superior ground army. Plus he has the SCVs helping him out, so I think he'll be okay. I think he could have actually just gone in unsieged, but I mean this works too, obviously. And whoa! Looks like BoguS making a little bit of a mistake there on the pullback with the dropships. I think he might have just right-clicked on the minimap and like shift-clicked them back to his rally point, and he actually accidentally shift-clicked a little bit too far to the left, so lost an extra dropship there that was unnecessary. But Baby, I mean, both players are almost max. Baby has a significantly bigger bank, and still definitely winning the resource war in terms of the bases. It's just so funny. I mean, there's like a sea of yellow and then that oasis of red on the minimap at the bottom right. But Baby now, properly claiming his own top left two bases. And BoguS is going to continue to try to attack. I think he probably realizes he actually needs to be the one to go on the offensive here, since in the long run he will be behind in the resource war. Looks like a lot of units moving towards the top. This is actually so cool though. Like, long TVTs are possibly one of the most strategic matchups in Brood War. This is like real warfare. This is like actually this is almost like World War I style, It's like, you got the trenches drawn up halfway across the map, and then you got to do fancy maneuvers with drops and wraiths. You can't actually attack into the trenches because that's a suicide. And oh man, that is such an annoying position. Look at that, Baby. I gotta say, definitely playing the map. You know, with that initial hidden expansion, and now with you know, claiming this main, and now sieging up on the edges of those cliffs, definitely abusing these little map quirks, these little map features. Anyway, he's also massing up a lot of units. I think he's just keeping tabs on the dropships because, you know, it's very dangerous. If BoguS uses these dropships, he can mount a huge offensive on one point in the siege line and actually break it. So Baby's actually got a pretty large mobile force here to try and deal with this. Looks like he might actually go swing around into this expansion. Yep, looks like that's what he's doing. And that is so many siege tanks. The SCV is just going straight into the tanks. They're going to try and, you know, bomb some of those tanks, glitch them out a bit. But that extension is going to have to get lifted. Lost a handful of SCVs there. I don't think there were actually that many SCVs there. And now the main base, as the observer is indicating, has become slightly vulnerable. There are some turrets there, but it's definitely opening up an opportunity for BoguS here. Baby has some turrets, but that is so many dropships, and it looks like the tanks actually getting ready to siege up on the bottom here. They're going to take down some of these turrets as the dropships fly in, and here we go. The big drop in the main base. Baby, where is his army? He's at risk of losing a lot of depots here. Looks like he's brought back only 2 dropships worth of units. That is not going to be enough. They are in decent position, but wow, BoguS, despite looking like he was in a bit of trouble there, he was definitely behind for most of this game, is now, after pulling some good moves here. I mean, this is actually so cool. You know, it's in TBT, it's just so hard to really make any headway like this, and yet BoguS is doing it perfectly, just, you know, slowly but surely just pushing his way into the main base, and now he's got a good position. He's taking down a lot of Baby supply. You know, Baby's not going to be able to reproduce these units that he's losing, although it looks like BoguS being a little bit careless with his dropships. But Baby is now supply blocked at 176 of 166. Still ahead of supply in BoguS, though, interestingly enough. He's still like 20 supply ahead, even though he's supply blocked. But of course, now Baby will be able to catch up a little bit, although he is going in for an attack of his own, taking down the inside 630 base. Looks like not even sieging up. There's like 4 SCVs there. Doesn't even matter. But look at that, the entire main base of Baby being gutted. And, I mean, what is Baby going to do? You know, now he can't actually sit back anymore. Because now if he just sits back and turtles, it's actually not such a clear-cut game. BoguS has definitely made up the slight deficit that he was at. I'd say more than made up for it, actually. And is continuing to send units in here. There's a few dropships coming in now for Baby, but I wonder if that was the crucial mistake. I mean, you know, to not keep up in the dropship count, or at least, you know, have something to deal with it, massing up more turrets or getting a few extra wraiths or something. BoguS playing a really cool mobile wraith plus dropship style here. Actually, it looks like he's just stopped making wraiths and valkyries entirely. I actually really like this, you know, mass dropship play. I think it just looks so cool. Anyway, looks like, wow, a lot of units coming here. Baby might actually have to relocate his factories. Yeah, he's actually going to start lifting his factories. He might just float them out to the top left or something. Yep, there's the mass factory exodus. The machine shop ones are still okay, but wow, BoguS doing a nice job. Looks like Baby has rebuilt all his depots somewhere. I don't actually know where. He's shot up back to 200 max supply. But BoguS is just showing why he is STX's ace player and a Terran to be feared. This is a really cool game. And looks like another huge drop getting lined up. I'm just thinking, where are all Baby's units? Because he's still got 180 supply, right? But if you look at the middle of the map, he's got, like, his tank line is not there anymore. I don't actually know where it is. Like, where's all his stuff? He's got a bunch of random tanks here at the bottom right. But, like, I think BoguS could actually just A-move towards the top right now. Like, he's going for a drop. I don't think he actually... Does he realize that there's nothing there? Maybe there is. Maybe it's just hard to see on the minimap. Because I'm looking at the minimap and it just looks like there's almost nothing there. There's like 3 siege tanks or something. But either way, it looks like BoguS is going to go for the drop. This is going to be a little bit harder. There's actually a Valkyrie there. It's going to do a lot of damage. Oh man, he might lose a lot of these units in the dropships. No, it looks like a lot of units do get down. Not quite as effective as the drop on the main base. He's going to lose almost all, if not all, of those dropships. The SCVs coming off the line. He might lose a lot of SCVs though. 2 more siege tanks coming in the back as well. Yeah, looks like he's going to lose a lot of those SCVs. Baby just getting systematically torn apart in this game. Showing some interesting early game tactics, but just not the late game control and decision making that BoguS has. You know, BoguS is essentially just outclassing Baby right here. You know, he's not doing anything fancy. He's not done any kind of crazy unscouted battlecruiser switch. He's just, you know, making the same units. They both got Goliath tanks and dropships, and BoguS's are just better. Better positioned, better drop locations. Baby, I'm not sure what he can do now. And there is the A move through the middle of the map. BoguS realizes that there's in fact not that much left in the middle for Baby. Although it looks like it'll still be quite effective, of course. Siege tanks are pretty good. But Baby is losing his middle siege line. And there it goes. That's the last of it. He's basically got nothing left in the middle. I mean, Baby's now the one that's like completely dead. It's so funny, you know, like 10 minutes ago people in the chat were saying, oh, you know, BoguS is dead now, there's no way Baby can lose this, and yet I think he's lost it. I mean, you know, it's a TBT, so it's probably going to go on for quite a while. It's certainly not over until Fantasy GG's, but you know, if they both keep playing the way they're playing, BoguS is going to take this handily, I think. I mean, look, half of Baby's production facilities are floated over his natural. I mean, that's not very useful. Oh, man. Interestingly, if you look at the bottom right, Baby's floating over 2,000 gas, and BoguS is actually spending most of his money quite well here. I think that's because, since Baby got the bottom right main, the main bases on this map have the full 5,000 gas and a geyser, but the inside expansions of the 12 and 6 only have 1,500, so it's a lot less gas. But oh man, looks like a huge attack on the top left, going in with the dropships. Not quite a good attack this time for BoguS. Oh man, the siege tanks of Baby getting to position first. But if BoguS can actually take down space, he's got a lot of siege tanks coming in the back. It looks like Baby might barely be able to hold on here. That's a lot of tanks left, though. You might, if he can just unsiege and A move in, I think he'll actually take that. A couple of random wraiths in the middle of the map actually just taking down a siege tank. I don't even know why they're there. And looks like, oh, some vultures coming in first. Might just use those to go in first and tank, and then just A move down those tanks. No, where's he going? Oh, he's actually going for... I don't know why he's going for the 9 o'clock. That's mined out already. Like, he should know that's mined out as well, because Baby took that as his first expansion. So there's no real point to attack this base. I don't know why he's attacking this base. That's a little bit weird. I mean, sure, he's going to kill a couple of depots and turrets, but like that doesn't seem very useful. He could have actually just gone and killed the top left natural. And the thing is, you know, you might say, oh, you know, he didn't realize that there were not that many tanks there, but it's late game TBT. Both these players have like at least 5 comsats. Like, there's no reason that he should not be able to just comsat and see exactly what's going on there. So I'm a little bit surprised at this decision from BoguS, but I don't know. Were there like tanks on the cliff that I didn't see or something? Maybe there were tanks on the cliff at the top left. I'm not really sure, but because that seems like a very questionable decision to me. But I mean, overall, he's been making spectacular decisions. So, you know, who am I to judge? Anyway, Baby is adding on starports of his own at the bottom right. I don't really know what he hopes to accomplish with this. Like, is he going to go wraiths of his own now? Is he going to go more drops? He can't really afford anything. Can he? Maybe he can. Well, no, he's got a bit of a bank still, and he's basically maxed. But he's now getting attacked here at the bottom right base. That is a lot of siege tanks. The vultures going in as well. How did those vultures get in so easily? I'm a little bit surprised by that. Looks like the mines will not go off, but BoguS at least is going to secure this bottom right natural now. That is supposed to be his base anyway. And if Baby actually loses this base, all those starports are going to be completely wasted. Like, this base is quite crucial now. Even though I'm pretty sure it's almost mined out, it's actually quite important for him to hold this. He's actually got a lot of infrastructure invested here now, which seems to be a weird choice to actually have built so many unit-producing buildings in like a random, you know, in the middle of your opponent's territory. I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it does give you a lot of opportunities to do like sneaky counterattacks and drops and stuff and force your opponent to defend more locations. But as you can see now, since BoguS has the unit count and he's putting on the pressure, now all these buildings are just a liability. I mean, looks like he's going to make some wraiths, but that seems a bit not so nice for Baby. So, oh, interestingly, the gas is actually on the bottom, so he actually is not going to be able to mine the gas from there until he clears out these siege tanks, and he actually is the one needing gas right now. Although it looks like, wait, somehow Baby actually spent all his gas suddenly as well. He was floating to over 2,000 gas just now, but now he's on 2,000 minerals and no gas. I'm not 100% sure how that happened, but, well, there it is. Looks like a few random drops getting intercepted in the middle. And, I mean, BoguS has got like a 50 supply lead now. I think, oh man, I should count the bases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like BoguS has been mining over the course of the game out of 6 bases against Baby's. Oh no, Baby also had 6 as well, and since BoguS took the inside ones, overall his resources, I think, have been lower. Because the inside expansions have fewer mineral patches and much less gas per geyser. But, ooh, looks like we're gonna have a cliff drop. Are we gonna have a cliff drop? Wait, where is he gonna drop? I don't even know. Anyway, it looks like the mass Wraith transition actually is gonna do a nice amount of damage. You're gonna take a decent number of SCVs, and also be able to clean up these siege tanks. Wow. Oh, no, never mind. Looks like there's 3 Goliaths there. And of course, no amount of paper planes are gonna beat Goliaths. I don't actually know what's become of that drop. It looks like BoguS just dropped some random units at the 9 o'clock and that was it. I thought he was going to cliff drop the top left. That would be quite cool, but I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, I got them mixed up again. Baby has a supply lead. Sorry. My mistake. Anyway. So it's interesting. So even though BoguS has made so much headway here, he's still behind in supply. And these Wraiths are actually proving so valuable. Oh man. I questioned that decision to make 4 starports, but it turns out that was actually an amazing decision from Baby. This is super annoying. Although it looks like that turret is gonna deny further harassment there. It's like a bunch of siege tanks just guarding all these factories. I mean, Baby doesn't seem to be making good use of his supply lead. Because he's been supply lead for most of the game, except for that point where he got dropped in the main, and then it became like even. And yet, he's on the defensive. Like, why are you on the defensive when you have more stuff? That seems a bit silly. Like, look, he's got like 10 siege tanks here just guarding his factories against 4 siege tanks. Seriously? Anyway, BoguS moving around with his dudes. Baby's actually made some progress here at the, what is that, the 530 expansion. So he might actually even be able to take that, which would give him a nice resource advantage. And actually, it looks like BoguS is getting dangerously close to mined out. He's actually going to get cliff dropped here at the back of the bottom right natural. Oh man, it's going to be terrible. BoguS, I think, is going to be down to just like the 630-ish base mining. Looks like he's going to siege up his own tanks here. Are they in range? Looks like he will barely save the space. Some nice Wraith micro there from Baby, taking out those tanks. This is going to be close. It looks like the last tank goes down, so the last tank of Baby on the cliff is going to do some nice damage. Some Goliaths, 1 Goliath rather, having a duel with a siege tank. On the high ground, no less. Looks like BoguS going to A-move in here. There's only 3 siege tanks. He needs to spread out a little bit more. Oh my god! It looks like, no, he's going to take it. Okay, more Goliaths coming in from the top. Wow, I thought BoguS might have made a mistake there. But looks like Baby actually moving down the ramp, sieging up this expansion, cliff dropping from one side and just, like, moving tanks in from the other. BoguS going to have to give up this expansion, and actually the Wraiths are there, so even if he lifts that, he's going to lose it. BoguS actually now down quite a bit. He's down like 70 supply now. BoguS actually looks like, despite some really great play in the mid-game there, is in serious trouble. I think he actually needs to take this expansion or something. I don't actually know what he's going to do now. And look at, Baby's in 6,000 mineral range. Baby has 6,000 minerals in the bank. He can just stop mining entirely now and be fine for the next 10 minutes. And looks like he's going to siege this base from the outside. Going to drop a couple units in, but it's going to be a little bit... Well, I guess he can move a bunch of siege tanks to the edge of that cliff and like siege up and take a few shots, but there's only 1 siege tank on the top there, so he might be able to claim this expansion. But I think the architecture of the map, like the fact that these inside expansions have a lot fewer resources than the outer edge ones, is actually making such a huge difference in this game. And oh no, BoguS going to lose a bunch of Goliaths for free because he's not paying attention. Oh no, held position Goliaths in range of siege tanks. Baby now taking a decisive lead in this game. Oh man, I don't... Oh, that is ridiculous. I feel like BoguS played this a lot better, honestly. Baby just had the cute strategy in the beginning and then, you know, did like a good Wraith switch, but I feel like overall BoguS played that way better. I'm quite surprised by this result. Anyway, I guess the best player does not always win, unfortunately. And, well, BoguS cleaning up a few units. Look at this, BoguS is just like always attacking, even though he's at half the supply. He keeps attacking, and yet it's just not working. It's terrible, it's terrible. Man, Baby won without doing a single thing. Ugh. Anyway, it looks like, uh-oh, Baby's now the one going on the attack. He's surrounding the last army. It's the last stand of BoguS. And he's gonna get demolished. GG from BoguS, and Baby takes set number 1 in an epic 40-minute long TVT. I feel quite bad for BoguS, but that was a spectacular game. Wow. What a game 1. That was only game 1, guys. That was only game 1. Oh, looks like there's an ad. Alright. Guys, I'm not hating on Baby. I'm just saying BoguS played better that game, overall. Like, Baby just busted out a cute strategy, but that was it. BoguS completely outplayed him, and yet still lost, just because Baby was sneaky and took an early expansion. Anyway. So, set number 2 is going to be a PVZ. It's going to be Mini versus